So I've warned you guys, man, over and over and over. I've done my part when it comes to this Iran stuff, right? I've talked to you guys. I've posted stuff, shown articles, gave passionate pleas for some support, and asked people to kind of pay attention about what's going on in the Middle East. Right? I've done it constantly, frequently, and the one thing that has yet to happen is that people have actually, started to speak out on it, and that's fine. But as you can see, they're starting to gear up or look for excuses to go to war, right? This is Iraq 2.0, right? So I've done my part. I feel complete. I feel like I've pretty much said things that other people didn't want to say, and try to do my part to prevent, some of this stuff from happening. But unfortunately, not enough people are really speaking out about it, and that's fine. It's something that people are gonna have to live with. Everyone has an opportunity right now to start to speak out against what the neoconservatives are trying to do, which is look for a reason to go in and topple a regime in Iran, and that's their goal. So you have an opportunity to do that, to speak out against it, to talk to congressmen, women, senators, all that stuff. That's your option. I've done my part consistently. I haven't wavered on it. I've seen this coming for years now. Years. I've seen this coming. And I've always spoke out about it, and I've said something every chance I've got, because I feel like it's an obligation to say something. It's my humanity, right? For years, I've been telling you guys about what's going to happen with Iran. For years, bro. And there's no reason for it. It's something that does not need to happen. It doesn't benefit you or me or anybody else. Really, it only benefits those that are going to make money off of it. Your Halliburton, all those companies that are going to have those contracts, all those tanks that are going to be built, all that good stuff, right? Lockheed Martin, Boeing, they're investors. They're going to make out. But the average guy that goes over there and puts boots on ground and gets blown up, because they're going to fight harder than Iraq did. If you guys think that Iraq was tough, you haven't seen anything yet when it comes to Iran. Those people have been there for a very, very, very long time. We're talking millennia. They know the terrain, and they are dug in, and they're smart. And I'm telling you, it's not going to be an easy out. So all this talk that we see, all this posturing that's going on over there, with the Straits of Hormuz and all of these incidents, right? All they're doing really is greasing the skids. That's all this is greasing the skids. And if you people don't start talking about it and saying how they feel and getting, then we're going to have our men and women getting hurt. So somebody who's rich now, who's only a millionaire now, can be a billionaire later. I mean, that's what it is. They're going to come home. The VA is going to be slow to move because it's a bureaucracy. They're going to go with symptoms untreated. Then they're going to walk into VA hospitals like we've seen in the past, and they're going to commit suicide in front of an audience. And then the cycle continues. We're not breaking the cycle by being silent. You should speak about it. You should talk about it. The cycle will continue. There's no chance for peace. There's no profit in peace in some people's minds. So what do they got to do? They got to create something to fight about. You know? You got to keep the machine going, so to speak. It's not the right answer, man. It's a lot of generals and admirals and stuffy offices who never a blue shirt, never did shit. Most of them. When you see these guys that are going to get hurt, those officers are going to be fine. Those generals, they're good to go. They've got jobs lined up with the defense contractors who they've hooked up with, who are going to have first bid on those contracts. But the little guy, that 18-year-old with a below average IQ coming out of some square state in the heartland, is going to lose his arm, his leg, and his mind. So some general or some defense contractor can turn 1 million into 1 billion. That's what's going to happen. That's what has happened. And that kid with that below average IQ coming out of the heartland is going to be left to pick up the pieces and unequipped or ill-equipped to navigate the bureaucracy of the government in order to help him out or her out. We'll send some bright kid with everything in front of him, his whole a great future in front of him. 120 IQ, perfect on the SATs, perfect on his ASVAB, and we're going to put him in a tank. Or we're going to have him parachute, or we're going to put him on a submarine somewhere, and something's going to happen. He's going to crack his head. He's going to have a TBI. And he's not going to be able to spell his own name half the time. And maybe he doesn't have a support system at home to help him navigate when he gets out. So then they end up on the street. 40,000, 50,000 homeless veterans right now. And I got news for you. Not all of them are for Vietnam. You're repeating a cycle of violence. For what? What are we doing it for? How can people sit back and watch it and not see it? You're seeing it happen again. The Iran bullshit. Same with Iraq. You have people from foreign countries come over and testify and give speeches and talk about how vile and violent Iraq was and this and that and babies in incubators and this and that. And then come to find out it was bullshit. And we're just going to accept it. Because, you know, Apple's got a new phone coming out. You know, the latest episode of whatever the fuck's on TV. You know, you can make excuses when you're a child. When you're 17, 18 years old, and war breaks out, and then you decide to jump in and help. You can make it. It's understandable. You're impulsive. That's why they recruit 18-year-olds. But they won't let you drink beer at 21. Think about that setup. You can die for your country at 18, but you can't have a beer. And in some states, you won't even be able to buy cigarettes. But you can go to war. Even though the government knows for a fact that the male mind doesn't fully mature until age 25. Frontal lobe doesn't fully mature until age 25 for men. But we're going to shatter them and put them into this system. It's diabolical, man. Seriously, if there's a God, I think there's a God. I do, right? But if there, let's pretend that we don't know, right? If there is a God, how do you think he looks at that? How do you think God looks at that behavior. You're knowingly taking someone who's not fully mature and able to make certain decisions, and you're going to put him in compromised situations, some of the most stressful environments a person can be put in, if not the most stressful environment you can put a person in. And you're going to do it to them while they're still developing. And it'd be different if this was 1960, 1930, any time before now. But now we have this information. So what are we going to do with it? Are we going to make a change? Are we going to change the age limit for a male to join the military to a minimum age of 25? No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do the right thing, because it's the hard thing. The male mind does not fully mature until age 25. So we're going to take them at 17. You can join the military early at 17 with your parents' permission, of course. 17 years old. And be put into certain situations that can absolutely compromise your mental capacity moving forward and scar you for life. At 17. You're not even a quarter of the way of the average life expectancy of 80. You're not even a quarter there. You've barely begun to live. But don't worry, because when you get hurt, the VA will be there for you, right? They're going to help you. They're going to make sure it's okay, right? It's not the case, man. This thing with Iran is nothing more than Iraq 2.0. And anybody that buys into it, shame on you. I mean that. It's one thing if they got us the first time, that's fine. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Right? I'm not being fooled by this again. The only difference is that I'm willing to say something about it. And, if there's men in the dark working against me, so be it. So be it. What an honor. What an honor to have people work against me because they're worried about the truth that I'll speak. And that's fine. That's the mindset you should have. Every single one of you. You're in a position where you can make a difference. Especially my veteran brothers. You have an obligation. I have an obligation to speak the truth to our tribes, to our state, to our people, to our country. We know what this is. We see it a mile away. It's time to step up, man. Lace up or shut up. Get out there and be active. Be smart. No violence, no mean stuff, man. It's not about that. It's about dialogue. Having a conversation. Communication is dialogic. It's a two-way street. But they're only giving us one way right now. So we have to pave our way forward and get our voices out there. It's an incredible demographic that we come from. 7% of the country puts on a uniform like ours. Even less have deployed. Even less have been hurt doing it. It's a niche group, man. No matter how you slice it, it's a niche group. And it's a hell of a group to be a part of. And I'm proud of it. But as should you, and you should speak out and you should talk about it. You should try to help protect the next generation. A just war is a just war. It is what it is. But this is a rich man's game. We see this. And it's really up to you to say something. And if you don't want to, or you're scared, because most of you are, you just don't want to admit it. You're afraid you're wrong about something. You're afraid to be exposed about being wrong. Dude, one thing I've never been afraid of is being wrong. And you should take the same mindset. Do some research on the subject, whatever it is you feel weak about, and put your thoughts out there, man. But nobody should be advocating for an unjust war. War for the sake of war with Iran. Get the fuck out of here, man. Iraq was nothing compared to what Iran's going to be. Nothing. And it's really only for Israel. What the fuck has Israel done for us? And people are tripping, man. Those attacks in the Straits of Hormuz, I think you should look real close and see if you see what I see. It's a bunch of bullshit, man. Bunch of bullshit. You know, those boys out there that are gonna put boots on ground in fucking Iran, if it happens, some of them are secretly praying that someone outside the government starts to talk about it and keeps them from having to go to a bullshit war. They'll do it because they're brave, solid men. But don't think for a second that if they don't have to kill people, that wouldn't be the preferred outcome. Of course it would. Nobody really wants to kill anybody deep down, unless they're sociopaths or psychopaths. Nobody really wants to do that. You know, it's our duty, it's our obligation to speak out and to take care of our brothers. Just because you're out doesn't mean you're out. Don't work that way, man. It's a lifetime. It's a blood oath. And it's on us to take care of one another. Stand up, man. This Iran stuff it's contrived. It's bullshit, man. It's Iraq all over again. And I'm sorry if it offends people. It's not my motivation. Most of you know me deep down. I was a little crazy when I was younger, but I think you know my heart. I think you know who I am. I'm not a bad guy, man. A little crazy sometimes, but I love you. My heart's in the right spot. I just want you guys to see what I see. Look at it, man. Really look at it. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, man. Anyway, I love y'all. Keep your head on a swivel, and I'll holler.